Hello everybody, and welcome back again. Today we're going to go through a nice Euro game called Brussels 1893. So let's have a look at how it plays. Okay everybody, so what is Brussels all about? Well, it's all about the Art Nouveau movement in Belgium. It started in 1893 and expanded throughout Europe. And really, it was a bunch of architects and artists that came together that changed architecture quite a bit. And in this game, you'll be acting as one of those architects. Building buildings with stained glass windows and ironwork and frescoes. So let's get down to the actual game and look at exactly how you play it. Okay, so welcome to Brussels. Let's go through the components very quickly. So first we have some money in 1s and 5s. We also have artwork that have different colors: yellow, pink, blue, green, and these are the back sides of them. So you will put a stack like this. We also have a black artwork, which are all different pictures, which will be special pieces of artwork. We also have the round markers. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. And then we've got our resources. We've got iron, wood, and stone. We also have white non-noble goods. So these are kind of the trashy goods. And these goods are the noble goods. We also have assistant workers. We have an Art Nouveau board, and we have a Brussels board. We also have player boards here. So let's go through the setup. Okay, so we have the Art Nouveau board, and these boards come in double-sided. This symbol means that this one is for advanced play, and the opposite side doesn't have that symbol, which means that it's for the beginner side. Then you're going to take all the tiles and randomly put them all together like this. And then you're going to take this board, which has 1 to 4 printed on it. You're going to line it up with the bottom like this. Then you're going to take this entire board here and put it to the Brussels board, and you'll see numbers here. And what you want is the boards to line up, so the 4 lines up to the seam, 3 lines up to the seam, and so on. Each player takes his color and an architect board and places 6 tiles hiding the building that he will build. Each player gets 4 discs and 7 assistants in his color. He takes 2 of the assistants and places them on the courthouse here. These will be worker placement meeples that he can get more of during the game. He will start with 5. He takes his 4 discs and puts 1 on his architect track at the 3 level. The other he will put at City Hall at the 1 level, and the other he will put at the Palace on the number 1 shield. The last one he will put on the 0 marker with the other players for the victory point track. Each player receives a public figure card that can get them $5. The unused cards with this particular ability, giving people money, will be discarded into the box and will not be used. Order the exhibit tiles, which will tell us about what round it is, by date. You'll place them in order on the Brussels board. Place the workshop marker in the workshop in the center of the victory point and money sections. Shuffle the public figure cards and place them on the board. Reveal 4 public figures. These figures indicate the cost for each public figure. Shuffle the stock exchange cards and place them in the stock exchange. Make sure all the black work of art tiles are separated from the colored ones. You can tell the difference because of the backing. Randomly shuffle the compass tiles and place them around the compass. Shuffle the bonus cards and place 5 on the indicated spots on the board. Place the remainder beside the board. The starting player gets the starting player token and $5. The second player gets $6, the third player gets $7, and so on. Okay, so that's it for Brussels, for the setup. Let's get down to actually playing the game. Reveal the first stock exchange card here. This card will let you know for how many players what worker placement areas are going to be available. So there is a vertical column from 4 to 1, 1 to 4, horizontal columns. And you will choose, for instance, with a 4-player game, you will put this thing, the frame, to block off certain worker placement areas. So for a 3-player game, it'll be 2 and 2 or 3 and 3. So let's have a look at that. So 2 is here and 2 is here. So that means this area will be available for worker placement. You would never do the smaller area for 2 and 2. That wouldn't work. So the other area you could choose as the starting player, you would choose 3 and 3 for a 3-player game. So 3 and 3 would be 3 and 3. So this would be your area for worker placement. There are 6 worker placement areas for the Art Nouveau board. During each of the 5 rounds of the game, individuals will use their assistants to play actions or activate actions on the Art Nouveau board. The pace is there depending on the amount of players. There will be different spaces. And also the 4 worker placement areas on the Brussels board. Everybody goes around in clockwise order, each playing a meeple, until all players pass. We will first start talking about worker placement on the Art Nouveau board, which is this. So we've got it set up for 3 players. And when you place a meeple on one of these selections, you also have to bid $1 or more on that spot. So as time goes on, people will fill this up, and the person with the most money in each column will receive the bonus card at the end of the round. Okay, so the first action that we're going to do is the workshop action. So we put some money and an assistant, and we get to draw randomly one of the colored tiles here. We got a green one, and we put it beside our board. Now, if we had any expedition tokens, which are these, which you get from passing, the player that passes first for each 5 of the rounds will get the tile indicating that round. If he has these, then he actually gets to pick up one more, or as many as he has. So let's say if he had, 2 expedition tokens, he would pick up a maximum of 3. And then he gets to choose. So because he has this, he will be able to pick up one more, and he gets to choose between green and yellow. And he chooses green, and he puts that back to be shuffled in later, and this goes beside his board. So this allows you to negate some of the randomness for players that pass during the game. The next action that we're going to do is the sales action. So now it's Blue's turn, and Blue will take Meeple, and he will select $2 this time, and activates the sales action. He can now sell one of his works of art. He checks if his work of art is a different color than the 2 works of art displayed in the window. At the beginning of the game, these windows will be empty, and he will be able to place it in either spot. Later on, it will be full, and he will not be able to place a work of art if, for instance, the same color is already there. So he will not be able to play that. He will then look at how many assistants he still has to use, which is 4, and now he will be able to move the workshop counter 4 times. So his particular art is blue, so he will be scoring this and getting money for this color. So he will want to move it 4 times, so he will want to move it 1, 2 to get the most money, and another 3, 4 to get the most victory points. He will get 6 victory points and 6 money for selling this work of art. Immediately after he receives this, he will now place his work of art in the window display. He leaves the tile here until somebody else takes the action to move it again. It is important to note that putting a worker here does not mean you have to sell a work of art. It can be placed there to block others or to participate in the bonus card auction. It is also good to note that black works the same way as any other color, but as you can see, you can never get 6 victory points with black and $6 for black, because the black color is in the middle of the workshop tile. It is also good to note you may only sell 1 work of art for each time you activate the sell action. If the stacks of works of art ever become depleted, you just come over, reshuffle these ones, leaving the top one present on the board, and take the rest, shuffle them, and make a new stack. The next action is the Royal Theatre action, which is here. Put our money and our assistant. The Royal Theatre action indicates that you are going to the theatre and trying to recruit the services of one of the public figures here. Once you go here, you can pay $0, $1, $2, or $3 to hire one of these. So, because this one is free, that's nice, but I'm going to take this one. Now, I have two options. I spend my $1, and it goes back to the supply. And now, I can use this action, which will allow me to raise my architecture track from 3 to 4. And then I have a choice to discard this card out of the game, or I can put it in my supply, and he is now a friend, and I turn him 90 degrees, saying that I have used him for this round. I will be able to use him again, including this gentleman, but right now I've used him. Now, the cost of doing this is indicated here. This means that at the end of the game, I will have to pay for his services. I will have to pay $4. If I do not pay the $4, there will be a penalty of 5 victory points for each citizen or public figure that I cannot pay for. Let's talk about the cards that are available. You've already talked about this one. There are a couple more, which are here. This one allows you to move up this track, and we'll discuss that later. This one lets you move up on the shield track. This one allows you to take one noble good, or take one not very good resource, which is the white, and get 2 noble goods of your choice. This one gives you 5 victory points. This one we talked about. This one allows you to get one of your assistants from the courthouse and place it into your supply. And this one allows you to get 2 white goods, which are not noble goods. They're the no good goods. Now, you can have exactly 8 cards in your near your board. You can have one of each type of card, and you'll be able to activate them. If you buy a card that one that you already have, for instance this one, you can still buy it, but you cannot put him into your tableau. You have to take the action that he provides and then discard the card out of the game. Remember, you cannot buy or purchase any of these cards, because this is your starting card, and the rest of these type, the $5 ones, are discarded out of the game at the beginning of the game. Once you have chosen what card you're taking, you shift these all down, and a new public figure comes out. The next action space on the Art Nouveau board is the Noble Goods action. So we're going to take our assistant, and we can't put him there without money, so lucky enough we have one more, and we put him there. Now immediately we get some noble goods. There are 3 noble goods. There is wood, there is stone, and there is iron. You can choose 2 of these 3. I'll choose this, and put it in my supply. The last space on the Art Nouveau board is the construction area. When you put a meeple onto the board to do construction, he can now construct one of his tiles, building a portion of his building. He will construct it by paying a certain amount of resources, which are indicated by the compass. This states that he will pay 1 iron and 1 stone. He does not have any stone, so he can always use one of these poor quality resources in place of any other, including money. So he will pay these 2 resources to build his section of his house. The next action in the Art Nouveau board is the building action, which is here and here. The next action that we're going to do on the Art Nouveau board is the building action, which is here and here in this particular case. We'll pay our dollar and our assistant to allow us to build one of our tiles here that basically indicates that we're building a portion of our building. Building these 2 is going to cost 2 resources. This one's going to cost, these 2 are going to cost 3 to build, and these 2 are going to cost 4 to build. When you build these top 2, you automatically score 5 victory points for building this one, and 5 victory points for building this one, but not these. To build it, you will look at the compass. The compass indicates what resources you have to build. If you have 2 resources to build, for instance, these 2 are going to cost 2, it will be this will indicate that you will build with 1 iron and 1 stone. So I will pay these 2 goods into the general supply, and I will now be able to build my tile. I now can place it onto the board anywhere, including off the area that is not being used right now, but I cannot place it on an area where there is an assistant already. So I'll place it here, or here, or here, or even up there. So let's say I place it there. Now, when somebody else goes here, I will get a special bonus, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now you will move one of the compass hands clockwise, like this, or like this. The hands can never match like that. Let's talk about the resources. This indicates that you have to pay an iron. This indicates that you have to pay a stone, and this one says you have to pay a wood. This up here says you have to pay $3. This one says you can choose stone, iron, or wood. This indicates, like that, that you cannot choose this, and you have to buy or spend 2 of the other indicated resource, so I would have to do 2 iron, or for instance, oops, $6, or 2 wood. Now, obviously, that means when we're building this, you would have to pay 2, but when you're building this or this, for instance, let's say if these were already gone and I was building the last 2, when I build this, I would have to build, because this is here, I would have to build 4 wood, or use 4 wood to be able to build that section of the building. In this particular case, it would be that amount of money, which is 12 money. So this is really good to build these tiles, or to build your building, because at the end of the game you will score amount of victory points equal to the architect track and how many tiles you've built. So 4, because of this, times 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be 4 times 4 is 16. When you are building, if you don't have the exact resources, for instance, if you did not have $3 and an iron, and you only have the iron, you can always use a poorer good, which is indicated by the white cubes, to supplement what you don't have. So for instance, if we were building a level 3 for here, I would have to either pay 2 stone and $3, or $6 and a stone. And if I had only 1 stone, I could use 2 white cubes for the $6 and a black cube for the stone. Now, because I used white cubes, I do not get the bonus for building right away, and that bonus is 5 victory points. So if you build with only noble goods, iron, stone, or wood, then you automatically, or money as well, you automatically get 5 victory points. But if you use white when building, you do not get that 5 victory points. Playing more than 1 Joker cube, which are these, has no effect. So theoretically, you could play entirely with Joker cubes and get that building out, which will score you at the end of the game. Okay, so we're going to talk about what happens after you build your building and your card goes out, becomes a building, and now whenever another player goes to utilize this action, the green player will now get a special action. Okay, and we're going to go through those special actions because for every worker placement area, there is a different special action. So let's start, we're just going to take that out of the way. And then we're going to start with this one, which is the workshop action, which is now indicated just by this symbol here. So the blue player is going to go here, and the blue player will now be able to get his work of art randomly from the selection. But the green player also gets an action, and that green player gets his special action, which is to take one of these black works of art. And he takes his black work of art and he puts it beside his board, and the blue player takes his, which is a pink, and puts it beside his board. Okay, so the next action is going to be the sell action. And that would be a sell action would be over here. So let's say if it was over here and the blue player decided to go here, now the green player, the blue player can sell just like normal using that action, but the green player gets a bonus and he gets 1 victory point per work of art that he has. And this also includes black works of art. Okay, so in this particular case, green would get 1, 2 victory points right away because blue used this action and green owns that action now. So the next one would be the Royal Theatre action. And the Royal Theatre action, oh, it's up here, so let's just move this out of the way. And let's pretend blue went here, clunk like that. So blue gets to choose one of these, like we've talked about before, and green actually has a special ability. He can activate one of his cards. So this one has already been activated, so he's going to turn this for free and get $5. So that is the special ability for blue going on green spot, which is nice. So the next one is the materials action space. And here's the materials action space. So if this was here and blue decided to go on to green spot, blue would get 2 noble goods, these kinds of goods, and green would get to choose 1 noble good. And that's the ability for having a building built on that area. And the last one is going to be the construction action. The construction action is very simple. So once again, here we are, construction action. We will be here. The construction action states that when a player goes on, the blue player gets to their construction action like normal, and the green player scores victory points for every building that he already has built. So if we pretend that green had 3 buildings already built, that would mean that green would get 3 victory points right there. I've discussed all the actions on the Art Nouveau board. Now I will discuss the 4 actions that you can do on the Brussels board. The Brussels board is different. When you place a worker on one of these spots, you can place it without paying any money. Also, you or another player can, on another turn, play on the same action. But instead of 1 to do that action, now you have to pay 2. And it continues like this. So now the green player is going to do this action again, and he'll have to pay 3 to do this action, and so on. The first action says that you can get 3 of these lesser goods that can be supplemented for any noble good. So this is this spot. This states that you can get money depending on what is on this card. So we can see that this round, if you go to that spot, you will get $7, which is the best you can do. So that's a lot of money. Placing a worker here allows you to do any of the Art Nouveau actions for basically free. So you get to do that. But you will not participate in the auction. You will not be able to place a guy here, and you won't be putting down money. You just do the action that you wish to do. And once again, multiple people can go here. The last action allows you to rotate some of your cards depending on the level that you're at. So right now we're all at level 1. Let's say green was at level 2 or level 3. That means he could rotate 2 of his cards. So he could rotate this guy and this guy in this round. They do not rotate back until the next round. And he gets the indicated actions, which he would move up on his architecture track, and he would get $5. Now, if he had 3, obviously he doesn't have a 3rd card, so he wouldn't be able to utilize that 3rd turn action. Okay, so those would stay like that. So those are the 4 actions that you can do in Brussels. Now, after the round has been done, we count up who has the majority in this area. So for instance, blue is here, and let's say orange was there as well. So there's 1 orange, 2 blue, and 4 green. So 4 green has the majority. That means one of green's assistants has to go to the courthouse. And this is basically indicating that these actions are kind of slightly frowned upon in society, and he has to go and explain himself to the courts why he's getting all this free things and building with buying inferior material and so on. So those are the 4 actions that you can do there. Okay, so there is an exception to these worker placement rules. In particular, this one, the 5th anniversary park action, the one that allows you to go and do Art Nouveau actions without placing your meeples in this area. It basically states in a 4 to 5 player game, you have 2 of these spots. So that means that the first person that goes here only has to place 1 assistant. The second player that went here, let's say if it was blue again, would only have to pay 1. Again, because he would be in a different spot. Kind of difficult to understand. The third person would only pay 2. The fourth person would only pay 2 again, and so on. So that's only with a 4 to 5 player game. Alright, so once a player has no more actions that he can do because he doesn't have assistants or other resources, he can pass. Now the first player to pass will take the expedition tile here and put it into his worker or his supply. Now he will score money now, or get money, for each different colored work of art that he has. So he will get $1 for passing. So he will get $1, $2, $3 in this case. Now the maximum that he can get would be the amount of different colors. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors, and also black. Plus the first passing the expedition tile, so that means a maximum of 6 money. Then it continues until all other players pass. Now when other players pass, they will also get money for the color works of art they have. So in this case, it would be 1, 2, and obviously you wouldn't count that because it's the same color. So the blue player would get $2. Okay, now that everybody has passed, we will determine who gets the bonus cards for each column. Now, we look at who has the majority of money. So for instance, blue had 2 there and 2 there, and then green had 6. So this card goes to green. He just puts it beside his board for now. Then orange gets this card, and blue gets this card. Then we decide who the new start player is. Now we look at the cards that we've got, and as you can see at the top, it has a little statue of a boy peeing. That will be, we count these up, and the person with the most will be the new starting player. So blue has 1, green has 1, and orange has 2. Now, also, because green passed first and he got the expedition tile for this round and this round only will also shows 2 of these. So that means that for this round, if we count up the things that we've gotten just this round, green has won with 3. So green keeps the starting tile, and he will be the starting player next round. Flip that over, keep that there. Then everybody has a choice. You can utilize what's here and then discard the card, right? So you would go up on this track. This track, remember, allows you to turn cards over. Or use cards in your display. Or you can turn this on its side and put it underneath one of these areas that shows what you are going to score for the end of the game, at the end of the game. So for instance, here it says get 1 victory point for every $4 you have at the end of the game. So what I would do is I could take this, instead of getting this action, flip this under and slide this under my board like so. Let's have a look. So there you go. So for now, for every $4 I have at the end of the game, I will get 2 points. Okay, and we'll discuss what each of these things do. Then the next thing you're going to do is you can, if you utilized any of these guys during the round, you can now turn them all up. So they're facing, so now they can be used again. The blue player will do, blue player didn't utilize his, so it stays there, and the blue player is instead going to take this action, instead of getting the end game points, he's just going to get 1 guy from the courthouse, like so. In any subsequent rounds, you do not use the symbols here to gain starting player status. They are now under your board and cannot be used for that. And same thing with if you had the starting or pass token in previous rounds. It's only this round, the person that passed this round gets that ability. Okay, so let's talk about the end scoring for these things right here. Well, this one we already know about. This states that you will get 1 victory point for every work of art you have. So green would have 2. The blue would have 3 at the end of the game. So it doesn't matter about color. This symbol right here indicates every public figure you have. So this would be 2 times 1, and obviously that can become more. And this one states that every assistant you have past 2, you get a victory point. So the first 2 you don't count, and then you count every other one. So if you had 5, you get 3 victory points times 1, or how many cards you have. Now, when you're getting bonus cards and you're putting them under like this, and you've got another one here, and you're putting it under, let's say, this one, you can only put one of these cards under. For each row, you can only put 1 card per round. So you can't say, well, I was the winner of all, let's say, 4 bonus cards, and I'm going to put all 4 bonus cards under here this round. You would have to spread them, those 4 cards, in the 4 different areas. Okay, so after you resolve your bonus cards. You get them, you take this action, or you place it under your board for at the end of the game. We'll go on to scoring shields, and shields are right here. So each round we're going to look who has the majority around each shield. If that shield is surrounded on all sides. So for instance, this shield is not. There is an empty spot here. We do not score this one or this one. These two we score. So the first one, we're going to look here, and we're going to go look, we see this shield has 4 meeples, and blue has the majority. We don't consider money, just the assistance. So we look at here, and we look over here, and we see that blue has his level at 3, which means that he is going to score 3 points for that shield. In this particular case, we have a tie. So we look over here at the City Hall track again. Blue gets another 3, and orange gets 1 victory point. So in the end, blue is going to get 6 victory points for his shields, and orange is going to get 1 victory point. And we score that immediately. Finally, we look at the majority in the Brussels turn action area, and we can see that green has the majority of assistants. So one of his assistants goes to the courthouse. And then everybody gets their workers back and places them near their board. Any money that was used for the bidding in the auctioning is put into the general supply. If there is a tie up here, then both tied players must put one of their assistants at the courthouse. And then the rest go back to each person's supply. So once the board's clear, we can take this off because it's going to change. But the buildings stay. Then we discard this card, and we flip over a new stock exchange card, which will indicate where the placement of this goes this turn, or this round. You will now discard a public figure from this space, shift them all down, and reveal a new public figure. Any leftover cards that were not utilized at all get removed from the game, and new cards come out and fill the 5 spots. This process continues for the 5 rounds, and at the end of the 5th round, everybody scores points and pays off their public figures. So let's have a look at that. First thing we are going to look at for scoring at the end of the game is you're going to pay off your public figures. So you would have to pay 4 for him and 1 for him, indicated right there. Now, if you cannot pay the cost, the first thing that happens is you lose this card, and this will affect you for scoring public figures later in scoring. And also, you immediately lose 5 victory points. And you go down on your victory point scale here, 5 victory points. If you can pay, then we just leave them, you pay the money, and all is good. The first thing that we're going to look at is the buildings and the architecture track. So green has built 1 building here, and he's at 4, so he will score 4 points. And you move him up on the track. Blue has 3, and he has 3 spot, which means that he will score 9 victory points. Much better. So now we do the scoring for each of these. So for every piece of art that green player has, he will score 1 point, so that's 1, 2. If he had more cards here, it would be timesed by more. In this particular case, it is $4, and he gets 2 victory points. So that means that since he has, let's see here, he has 5, 6, 7, 8, which means that he will earn 16 victory points. Green also has 2 public figures, which gives him 2 victory points, and he, let's say, had 5 assistants, which will give him 3 victory points because you do not count the first 2. It's everything 3 and more gives you 1 victory point. Every noble material that you have will give you a victory point. So these are not noble. So green would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally, the player that finishes with the starting player token at the end of the game will get 5 victory points, which is quite nice. And he will once again move it up on his track. And the person that has the most victory points at the end of the game is the Grand Master and has won the game and is the best architect of Brussels.